The White House announcement has already impacted the price of oil on international markets today. The price of West Texas Intermediate crude futures actually dropped $7 a barrel today to an even $100. So with these changes coming from the White House, again, it's going to be a process, but we did see the immediate reaction on Wall Street. Andy Cohen here tonight, and you spoke with some local energy experts about what is the realistic expectation with these changes, Andy?
Yeah, Rod, they told me that the problems with the energy industry, specifically with oil, they run deeper than just the war in Ukraine, even though that was a very sizable disruption. Don't get me wrong about that. A lot of companies, they cut production back during the pandemic, and it takes time and money to get those wells drilling again. President Biden announcing a major drawdown from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, 1 million barrels a day for 6 months.
This is a wartime bridge to increase oil supply until production ramps up later this year. And it is by far the largest release of our national reserve in our history.
The move is expected to help stabilize oil markets that have been especially volatile in recent months.
I would caution drivers and Coloradans against thinking this is going to send prices plummeting.
He says the problems that were pushing gas prices higher before the war in Ukraine are still there.
Even prior to the Russia issue, there just was not enough crude oil as a function of basically production jumping off a ledge during COVID. Production's not come back yet. Of course, we're also dealing with the fact that the United States is not buying Russian energy exports, that many global actors are not buying energy from Russia.
So he expects prices for crude oil and gasoline to stay relatively high until domestic production increases. And he doesn't think that environmental or regulatory policies are hampering things.
Congress has not really acted. The president has not acted for many administrations when it comes to limiting how we produce oil in this country.
But a warning, this big drawdown could have unintended consequences if there's a bad hurricane season.
If we have a bad hurricane season, that could really gum up the works. And then we might regret the drawdown of so many barrels from our strategic reserves, because that's what the reserves are there for. And the president also called on Congress today to assign new fees to oil companies who have leases to drill on federal land but aren't currently drilling on those. Of course, we'll have to keep an eye on Washington to see what becomes of that. Reporting live in Colorado Springs, Andy Cohen, News 5.